Hi everybody, and thanks for joining me today. So today we learned about what sound is. So how is it made and how is it transferred into our ears to make what our brain registers as certain sounds. So for our experiments today, you're going to need a lot of materials. There's 3 parts to our experiment. So if you don't have some of these materials, it's okay, just join us for the ones where you do. So we're going to need a jug of water, crystal glasses. So they need to be crystal to make the specific sound we're looking for. We're going to need a normal glass, a straw, scissors, plastic wrap, a large glass bowl, rice, a wooden spoon, and a metal tin that you use for baking. So go ahead and gather those materials, and I'll see you back here soon. So go ahead and grab your glass bowl and your saran wrap, or plastic wrap. We want to wrap the top of the bowl really tightly. So it's going to be kind of like a drum. You know how the fabric on a drum is wrapped really tightly around the base of the drum? So stretch it really tight so that it makes that kind of drum sound when you touch it. Now we're going to take a little bit of rice and just sprinkle it on the top. Do you see the rice here? I want you to watch the rice, because as we learned today, sound is made by items vibrating, which creates waves, sound waves, which move through the air, and things like our ear pick up the sound waves and register them as sounds. But you'll see how something like this over here can influence this because it's making sound wave vibrations in the air. Even if we can't see them, they're still happening. So if we go ahead and hit this, I want you to watch the rice. Do you see the rice moving? Watch closely. I see it moving. The closer I get, the more the rice moves. So this is interesting because I haven't touched the rice, I didn't blow on the rice, I didn't hit the rice, but just from the vibration of this sound that I'm making, it resonated with this kind of drum that we made, and it made the rice actually move because it was resonating with this. And that was just from the invisible sound waves. Now we're going to test for some sound vibrations in something else. So grab your crystal glasses. And what we're going to do is fill the glasses up with different levels of water. So get your jug of water. I'm going to fill this one up to be quite full. Let's say this full. This one I'm going to fill up to be half full. And this one I'm going to fill up to be just a little bit full. Now, what I'm going to do is wet my finger in the water and then just move it around the top of the glass. For our next experiment, we're going to make a wine glass vibrate. So it should be a crystal glass. Before we do anything, we're going to test our crystal glass just to be sure that this will really work. We don't want to go through all the effort of doing the whole experiment to find out that the glass isn't going to vibrate. So basically, when our finger is wet, it's able to slide along the top of the rim. but still it has some friction. So this friction, what this means is that it catches. It's not going to be perfectly smooth. It still catches a little bit. And this friction is what makes the wine glass vibrate. So it's actually going to be vibrating. And these vibrations are in a pitch that we can hear as humans. So this is why we can hear wine glasses ringing or singing sometimes. So it takes a little while to find the sweet spot. For me, you push down on the edge of the glass at the bottom to hold it in place. And I found it works to slide but press down at the same time. So if you press, not too hard, but not too light, you have to find, there it is. So play around with it a little bit just to find that sweet spot. So if you feel your fingers sticking a little bit, but it's also sliding. So it has friction, but it's also slippery. That's the trick. So it's this friction that is making the glass vibrate. Now, something very interesting is that when we change how much of the glass there is to vibrate, it changes the pitch. So, you tell me, let's hear this again. Try to keep in mind this sound. Tell me if this is going to be a higher or a lower sound. Let's see. What do you say? If you said lower, you're right. So, the more water we put in, the lower the sound goes. And it's changing the sound, again, because there's less of the wine glass that is vibrating, or it's changing the quality of the vibration in some way. So I'm going to go ahead and do 3 different levels. A lot, a medium amount, and just a tiny bit. Okay. Now, let's make it like an instrument. So this one should be the highest. It's the highest sound. There it is. Now it's still ringing. Now we have our medium sound. It's lower, see? Now we have our lowest sound. Do you hear that? To me, I feel like it's quieter, and I wonder if it's because it has less of the space to echo in. Because you know when you have an empty glass, it's really echoey that even if you hit it, it makes a sound. When it's like this, there's not so much room to echo. So this one's the quietest, I find. Then we have the medium. Then the highest. For our next and last experiment, we're going to make kind of a mini instrument. So get a straw, and about halfway through, or maybe a little higher than halfway through, we're going to cut, not all the way, just halfway, and just enough to be able to bend it back like this. Now when you blow into the straw, it makes a certain sound. Now, let's fill up a glass of water. And what we're going to do is play our little instrument. So what we're listening for is when this size changes, as more of it goes in the water or more of it goes out of the water, the sound that we hear changes. So the pitch of the sound, just like with the water glasses, it changes. So let's see, where is it the highest and where is it the lowest? For me, the highest is when it's the deepest in the water. Did you get that too? You can make some really funny sounds by going in and out quickly. So this just shows how the different size that we have for the sound to vibrate in, it changes the actual pitch. And this all happens in ways that we can't see because they're sound waves, and they're there and they're vibrating and they're changing what our ears and our brains register, even if we can't see them vibrating through the air.